This video is about factoring from standard form. So factoring is the opposite of multiplying. So first we're going to multiply so we can see what the equation looks like to understand how we finish our equation. So when we multiply x times x, we get x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times 3 is 15. So notice I have two x terms, so I need to combine them. So I get x squared plus 8x plus 15. Now, we got 15 by multiplying the 3 and the 5 together. We got 8 by basically adding the 5x and the 3x together. So when we are factoring, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find two numbers that are going to multiply to that n number and add to the number next to x. So I'm going to create a box problem in order to factor. And if I can't factor it, then I'm going to write unfactorable or not factorable. So in number 1, we want to multiply to the n number, which is our c value, and we want to add to the number next to x, which is the b value. So we're going to make a little x, and we need to multiply to 30 and add to 9. So we need two numbers that multiply to 30 and add to 9. So two numbers that we know multiply to 30 are 5 and 6. Now, the problem with 5 and 6 is while they multiply to 30, they don't add to 9. So this combination doesn't work. So we're going to try another combination. Another combination that multiplies to 30 would be 3 and 10. 3 and 10 do not add to 9. So that's another case where it doesn't work. Two more numbers that multiply to 30 are 2 and 15. 2 and 15, again, do not add to 9. So that combination won't work. The last combination of numbers that multiply to 30 and add to 9 would be 30 and 1. Again, those numbers are too far apart. They're not going to add to 9. So in this case, this is an unfactorable problem. So let's try another problem. In this one, we have x squared minus 3x minus 18. So two numbers that multiply to negative 18 and add to negative 3 is what we're looking for. So I need two numbers that multiply to negative 18 and add to negative 3. So two numbers that I know that multiply to 18 are 6 and 3. When I'm trying to figure out which number is going to be negative, if I'm adding to a negative number, my bigger number needs to be negative. So I have 6 and negative 3. Though negative 6 and 3. Those multiply negative 18 and those add to negative 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to have two sets of parentheses with an x in each, and then we're going to put the number with x. If it's a negative number, it gets a subtraction sign. If it's a positive number, it gets a plus sign. So we would have x minus 6 and x plus 3. Number 3, we have two numbers that we need to multiply to negative 6 and add to 5. So we're looking for a negative and a positive number. Now, right away, most of us will think, oh, 2 and 3. Well, if I'm making one of those negative, let's say 2 and negative 3. While those add to negative 6, they don't multiply to negative 6. They don't add to 5. So that combination is not going to work. So I need something else that multiplies to negative 6. So something else that multiplies to negative 6 and adds to 5 would be 6 and 1. So I'm going to use positive 6 and negative 1 because I'm adding to a positive number. So when I multiply, those get me negative 6 and add to 5. So my factors would be x plus 6 and x minus 1. In number 4, I need numbers that multiply to 32 and add to negative 12. So if I'm multiplying to a positive but adding to a negative, I'm going to need two negative numbers. So two numbers that multiply to 32 are 4 and 8, so we're going to make both of those negative. Those do add to negative 12, so we would have x minus 4 times x minus 8. Our last example, x minus 13x minus 30. So we need two numbers that multiply to negative 30 and add to negative 13. So two numbers that multiply to negative 30, we could use negative 6 and 5. However, those don't add to negative 13. So we need to try a new combination. Two other numbers that we know multiply to negative 30 are 10 and 3. So let's say negative 10 and positive 3. Those don't add to negative 13. Those don't add to negative 13 because they're not both negative numbers. So that combination is not going to work. Another combination, though, that multiplies to negative 30 is negative 15 and 2. Those do add to negative 13. So our factors are going to be x minus 15 and x plus 2.